Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia kind of went back and forth over mental health, and I know I don't think it's I think this is an individual battle, the way that fighters deal with this. But I wanted to ask you, as someone who has been engaged in what's called the loneliest sport, how did you handle the mental travails and the pressure that comes with this sport? What's the best way to deal with it that you found to deal with it?
Yeah, very touchy subject, Lance. So I'm just going to give you my perspective.
Absolutely.
And I could tell you that there's been times where I just didn't feel like the hungry fighter that I needed to be going into fights. There's plenty of times that I should have canceled the fight. Even in times where I squeaked out a win, there was times where I should have canceled the fight, either because I was struggling physically. But when you're struggling physically, you're struggling mentally, especially when there's so much burden on your shoulders, and you know that you can't cancel a fight because promoters are going to lose money, networks are going to lose money, you're going to miss a lost opportunity. So many things go into just showing up to fight.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: that's your responsibility
as
a professional. So I always carried that responsibility with me, saying, no matter what, I have to step into that ring, and I need to do my job. And for better or worse, that was the way I did what I had to do. Nowadays, the stigma is being taken a lot more serious. This anxiety and mental issues, and it's prevailing even beyond sports. I mean, there's a lot of things these kids go through nowadays that I never went through. So who knows, man? All I know, Lance, is that I can't put myself in another man's shoes. I can just tell you how I handled it, and I fought through it.
Do you think that fight between Ryan and Gervonta will take place? Obviously, it's there for the taking. If the Zone and Showtime, can get together, and if Al Heyman and Oscar De La Hoya can strike a deal, I mean, those are huge ifs. You've worked for both men. Can this thing take place next?
Yeah, I've worked on both sides, and I can tell you that both sides usually think they're right, and for good reason. They put on big shows, and they got big brains on both sides. So, a lot of hurdles to jump there, and I just don't think the politics allows it. And if it does, for some reason happen, it's not going to happen soon, and that's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing as far as the mainstream, in popularity and the younger viewers. It's so much money on the table, but when you have to jump so many hurdles and cross so many T's and dot I's and X's and O's, oh my God, the headaches, too many egos involved. I just don't think we're gonna. Boxing shoots itself in the foot all the time, and I don't think it happens.
Yeah. So perfect for the sport, given the connection and we know Ryan Garcia has an incredible social media audience, but so does Gervonta Davis, and the audiences that he's pulled into his whatever arenas that he's fought, and it's been several, has been very impressive. I mean, this is boxing and old sports opportunity to connect with it's basically its youngest audience in the best way possible, and hopefully that type of thinking, no matter who's going to make the ultimate decision, will prevail, and this can take place. Because I think everyone would really love to see what happens between these two, given their ability to talk and given their ability to connect with their audiences.
Forget the social media following. That's just another thing that I don't understand. But I could tell you what I do understand. I understand speed. I understand power. I understand them putting butts in seats. I understand that they have two different fan bases, and when you bring those two different fan bases under one roof, it's explosive, it's exciting, it's everything that boxing lives for. And when it finally happens, it just produces magic. All through history, it produces magic when you get two complete opposites step into the ring with unblemished records and a huge following. That's magic, man. That's boxing. But as we've seen in recent years, it never happens when it should. It never happens in that ideal moment when it should happen. It always happens when one takes a loss or the other one is a little bit older, and the magic is fizzled.
That'd be too bad. Last thing, Sergio, in a couple of weeks we'll be seeing each other in Las Vegas for Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin 3. Obviously, the first two fights have been so entertaining, so compelling. Has your opinion of this fight changed since the time that it was made, or how are you feeling about who's going to win and why?
As far as the X's and O's and who I think wins the fight, no, it hasn't changed. I still favor Canelo, and I would favor Canelo maybe even by stoppage. But what does make things interesting now is, Canelo's coming off a loss. Canelo is so bitter towards Golovkin. They know each other so well. Golovkin is coming off a win. He's not going to have to sacrifice to make 160. He can be, stronger and bigger at 168. They felt each other's power. That fight ends in a knockout, and both of them have the power to end it with a knockout. I would favor Canelo, of course, but I'm not going to totally write off Golovkin, because Golovkin is still a monster and has only technically lost to Canelo, and a lot of people think he didn't even lose that. So you can't just be an ageist and say, well, he's 40 years old. Scratch that. Golovkin is one of these guys that still has power, still can take a big punch, lives a clean lifestyle, and is coming off some impressive victories. So that's where the momentum going in his direction. And for Canelo, maybe it's the flip side. He's been fighting since he was 15 years old. He's coming off a loss. The injuries might be catching up to him. He might be burned out. He could flip that coin so many ways. But I'm excited because trilogies end in knockouts, and we're going to get a knockout in this one.
Oh, my gosh, that'd be so amazing.